All right. Shalom Yashala. Call halal Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shah. Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shah. Waharakakodash Brakatham. I like to give double honors to the apostles, bishops, and elders of Great Millstone who rule well. Salutations to the select number of Akyam, pushing his truth and sincerity in four corners of the round earth. And salutations to the select number of Akwat out there listening. You know what I like to get into, it's all according to the spirit, but that word victim, there's been controversy on how it's been used. When you do the etymology on the word victim, I believe it's from the Latin, derives from the Latin victima, I believe, victima, and that victima is it goes into a sacrificial animal being sacrificed or a living creature being sacrificed to a deity, which we know a deity to be what? A power, the Most High. We know that we get that from the scriptures, right? And then other examples such as Abraham and Isaac, right? The offering up for Isaac, but the Lord was just testing Abraham's faith. And Abraham, what? He showed great faith in Yahweh Shah. Now, the whole context of this lesson is men of the Lord are the true victims, right? Because what? We're willing to sacrifice this world in order to be what? To be accepted of the Most High. Okay? So it's not the here in Babylon the Great, a lot of these words, and it's important that we get into it. Like Apostle Gabar has been pushing for over a decade, along with the other apostles, Apostle Tahar, Apostle Ramla, Apostle Rakah, the bishops, elders on down, and you've been receiving top shelf knowledge through the Spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Shah. But I'm gonna start reading. This is John chapter 10, start at verse 25. Okay. Knucklehead, just knucklehead Jake, and this is Yahweh Shah HaMashiach leaning into him. I told you, and ye believe not. The works that I do in my Father's name, they bear witness of me. Okay? So this whole term, like the is really not the true term. When I think about the victim mentality, and because words, when you understand the depth of the definition of a word, like victim hits different for me now. Like what is it that you're being what are you a martyr for? What are you being sacrificed for? You dig? So hearing that term victim now, hey, it's a new spin. It's a new perspective. It's a new true perspective. Okay, let me continue to read. Let me start over. I told you, and ye believe not. The works that I do in my Father's name, they bear witness of me, but ye believe not, because ye are not of my sheep. Okay, and we know what? We know that that sheeps have a shepherd, in order to follow. And we understand how Mashiach is what? Is our shepherd, right? And matter of fact, which half of the even when you read up, starting at the seventh verse. As a matter of fact, I won't start directly from there, but I'll read a little decent portion right here. This is still in John chapter 10, verse 7. Then Yahweh Shah unto them again, verily, verily, I say unto you, I am the door of the sheep. Verse 8. All that ever came before me are thieves and robbers, but the sheep did not hear them. Verse 9. I am the door. By me, if any man enter in, he shall be saved, and shall go in and out and find pasture. Verse 10. The thief cometh not, but for to steal and to kill and to destroy. I am come that they might have life and that they might have it more abundantly. Verse 11, I am the good shepherd. The good shepherd giveth his life for the sheep. Let me reread that again. I am the good shepherd. The good shepherd giveth his life for the sheep. And what did Yahushua HaMashiach do for the elect? Gave up his life. It was the will of Yahweh. So therefore, Yahushua HaMashiach is what? The true victim. Because what? He was not Yahushua a living creature? Was he not sacrificed unto the Most High for the nation of Israel? Therefore, that makes Yahushua HaMashiach a true victim. And for the Akim and for the select number of Akwat who truly follow Yahweh Bashim Yahshua are what? Are victims, or are true victims, man. You know, when you get the true meaning of words, you know, that perspective on how it's used, you know, it is very revealing and very mind blowing, man. You know, so the use of words is very, very important on how you use them. Because you think victim mentality. Well, in order to be a victim, from my understanding now, that you had to be put in a place to where you were to willing to die, willing to be a sacrifice. Yahushua HaMashiach did that. Men following in the footsteps of Yahushua HaMashiach are willing to do that. Abaratazah, I'm one of those men who will continue and be willing to do that. Okay, so men of the Lord and women who follow Yahweh Bashim Yahshua are victims. Okay, when you have the true understanding of the word, you know. I just found that, you know, beautiful. I found that very very interesting, man. You know, I was looking up the word, you know, earlier today. I was like, you know, to get the depth of that word victim. And, you know, for you Akyam and Akawat out there, you know, make sure to, you know, look it up for yourselves. You know, just don't take my word for it. Okay, let me start back at verse 25. So like you bear with me. I told you, and ye believe not the works that I do in my Father's name. They bear witness of me, but ye believe not, because ye are not of my sheep, as I said unto you. Verse 27, my sheep hear my voice, and I know them, and they follow me. Okay? So we're following Yahushua HaMashiach to the best of our ability. In other words, we're willing to what? Die for this truth. We're willing to sacrifice ourselves for this truth, right? I'm not doing this lesson because I'm bored. I'm not on the highways and byways because I'm bored. I'm trying to gain favor and mercy from Yahweh Bashim Yahshua, man. And then also, and of course, Yahweh HaMashiach's sacrifice is definitely not in vain. It's for the elect, okay? And that's what a lot of people in 2025 is still mind blowing, you know, fail to realize. Like, bro, the way you niggas acting. Now granted, overall, Yahweh Shah did sacrifice himself, you know, so like it presented himself as a sacrifice, and it pleased the Most High, you know, for the nation of Israel, but first and foremost for the elect's sake. Okay, it's the elect, and then the nation follows after. Okay, in other words, the 1/3 is the elect, the 2/3 is the remaining of the of our nation. Okay, bear with me, Baba Kushak. I'll continue reading verse 28. And I give unto them eternal life, and they shall never perish, neither shall any man pluck them out of my hand. Okay. It's all about being faithful and true to Yahweh Bashim Yahshua. If you in this, right, hey, if you of the chosen, you just of the chosen. And that's why Yahweh Shah is stating this. And I'll reread that part over. and they shall never perish, neither shall any man pluck them out of my hand. Verse 29. My Father, which gave them me, is greater than all, and no man is able to pluck them out of my Father's hand. Verse 30. I and my Father are one. Okay? So there's no getting around it. Okay? Men of the Lord, the 144, the 1/3, what have you, and that includes, the Aquath that the Lord has chosen, it's the 144, okay? The elect are victims, okay? Or are victims because what? We're willing to spiritually cut ourselves off from this place and physically, willing to we're willing to present ourselves as a living sacrifice, which I'm going to get next. Bear me, Baba Kosha. Okay. This is Romans chapter 12, verse 1. I beseech you, therefore, brethren, by the mercies of the Most High, that ye present your bodies a living sacrifice, holy, separate. Okay, that's what that holy means. Acceptable unto the Most High, which is your reasonable service. This is a reasonable service to present yourself as a living sacrifice, right? And that's and that's what it requires to be a victim. So so a victim is not a bad thing, when used correctly. Now that the Most High, put the spirit on me to look up that word earlier. Being a victim is not a bad thing. We're I'm in the spirit of, hey, if my big brother was willing to do that for me, I should be willing to do that for him, right? I should be willing to do that for fellow Akyam. Okay, I should be willing to do that first and foremost for the Most High, and of course Yahushua Mashiach, and then everything else follows. I'm willing to present myself as a living sacrifice on the behalf of 1/3. Yeah, that's a very much so reasonable service. I just want to touch on that. That was a very interesting and a very good find and a good read, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashem Yahshua. And Albaratazah, this has been edifying for the body. So with that, once again, call halal Yahweh Bashem Yahshua, Yahweh Bashem Yahshua, Waharakah Kodash Brakathum. Once again, I'd like to give double honors to the apostles, bishops, and elders of Great Millstone who rule well. Salutations to the select number of Akyam pushing his truth and sincerity in four corners of the round earth. And salutations to the select number of Aquat that they're listening. Shalom.